name's Lori Schmidt. She's still at the bank, I think. And I'm just like, I promise you, if you give me this opportunity, I will not let you down. She was like, well, can I learn about your experience? I'm like, I was in the military, bodybuilder, like that's about all I got. And she's like, I said, I promise you, I won't let you down. I'm like, I don't need this, I want this job. And I'm like, and she's like, well, let's talk to you about it. I go, I don't care what it entails. Like, I will take the job. She's like, so we go to this interview. I had no experience, and I'm like, I screwed that up. I left, I'm in the parking lot driving away. She calls and she goes, I'm gonna hire you. And I go, really? I go, why? She goes, I liked your energy. And so I'm gonna walk through this, we'll go into this, actually goes into our next thing, right? She goes, I liked your energy. And I'm like, I got off, I'm like, thank you so much. She told me how much it was. I mean, finally a paycheck, right? I was excited. So I called my mom, like, Mom, I got a job as a banker. She's like, you can't do math. That was her first response. You can't do math. I'm like, I don't get it either, but I'm gonna show up. And so like this, I showed up early every day, and I showed up early. I got there before the branch manager, and I've been living this way ever since. And I'd be there before the branch manager, I'd be waiting in the parking lot. Hey, good morning, sir. I'd go in, I'd start cleaning the branch. I would just clean, even though there was cleaners. I'd pick stuff up, and I'm like, you need anything? And I would just, I mean, I wasn't a brown nose. I was working my ass off. I was ready to eat, right? So I started crushing everybody there. I mean, I was just like, I was focused. Customer walking, hey, welcome. And I called it John's Bank. I started calling it John's Bank. I'm like, welcome to, I wouldn't say John's Bank, but in my mind, I made my own little bank in my little corner. And I would just sit there, and I would sit, and I would find the customers that everybody would reject. The customer would come in, they're like, oh, that's an opportunity customer. The opportunity is a lower level account. Oh, that's, oh, shit. I'm like, hey, come on over, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm trying to cash my check, they're gonna give me trouble, come on over. Let's talk about how we can repair your credit. I would talk to them, and I'm like, everybody was falling apart back then in 2008. They're losing their houses, everything's falling apart. I'm like, and I could relate to these people. I'm like, dude, I spent some really hard times. So I just started relating with human beings, and I'm like, I get it, like you do? I'm like, yeah, I'm actually broke too. And we had so much connection, and we'd have so much fun, and then they would bring their friends in, and then we'd get their credit repaired, and then we'd get them a secure credit card, and then they'd get their first auto loan, and I'm like, this is so much fun. And so I just kept helping people, and then I went to my first little branch opened up in a grocery store, and I was like, I went to the interview, again, you liked your energy. And it just kept going on and on and on and on. Then we got to where you're going for the executive level, and this is a lesson for, hopefully this will help you understand how confidence and belief in yourself. So we went to a manager meeting, and there's all the managers are there, right? And we got to go to a manager meeting, it's top bankers. And I remember when I was walking around, I was shaking people's hands, and I was like, hey, how you doing? My name is John Vasquez. I'm gonna be a district manager in about 2 years. Or I think it was a year or something like that. And they're like, yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. And so they were going, and I remember the guy, he's actually still in this district. I think he's still in this district, actually. He was like, he's the cool guy. He's like, do you know how long it takes to become a district manager? You know how many times I've tried to become a district? I go, that's your paradigm, not mine. So 2 years, dream killers. 2 years, 7 months, 28 days later, I became a district manager. Broke every record, and guess who the first person that emailed me was? Congratulations. I said, take this as a life lesson. I said, you're way more education than me, you're way smarter than me, you just don't believe in yourself, man. So I got that position, started moving up really fast, and every interview, they told me we liked your energy. I'm like, there's something to this, there's really something to this, right? And so then that's when I started studying really deep the subconscious mind. I'm like, okay, so let's start playing with this energy, let's figure out what we can do with our life. And then that's how everything started to form the book. I made it in 2012, wrote the book in 2013. And I just started to embody this. Then Dr. Joe Dispenza just blew my mind. I was like, okay, I can move spinal fluid up my spine, and I can connect to it. And I'm like, wow. And then the biggest move was when I left corporate America. I'm like, can I do this? Like, this is going to be the biggest test of my life. Like Cinderella story, now making a ton of money. Like, it's like, I'm now going to disappoint all the people that believed in me. Right? All the people that saw me go from a drug addict, people I was stealing from, they're like, what are you on drugs? I mean, I think they were all thinking I was on drugs. Being honest, they were all like, I think he's on drugs again. I know that was their thought, like he's on drugs again, like he's off, because that's not a rational decision in this physical plane, right? And it's like, I'm like, no, I'm not going to tell my dad, I'm not going to tell my brother, I'm only telling my mom. I tell my mom everything, and I'm like, Mom, she's like, okay, honey, I got, okay, well, we'll do this. And then, my mom was rolling the mats out. My dad was sitting on an ice chest watching us. We're rolling the mat. I'm like, your wife is rolling mats out here. He was just like, all right, guys, move it over here. I'm like, this makes no sense, dude. Like, help us. I digress. Obviously, I have issues with my dad. So I was just like, go ahead.
I just want to say, I think it's funny because when John left, it was interesting because obviously I was part of this when he left the bank. It's interesting because in his mind, it didn't seem like a rational decision. And when people were asking me what I thought, I was like, I don't think you should be doing anything else. And so to me, it was only rational. And the reason why I chose to help him in all of this and to do it was not only because, you know, the book is something I thought people needed, because again, at that time, it really started with specifically the book. And trying to get that out there and doing executive coaching and being a coaching and being like a Tony Robbins type person and, you know, talking and things like that. But the reason why I did it is because we say we love you to everybody because we love everybody. Like when we say, or at least I mean for me, when I say I love someone, like I love everybody because I think that the world fucks people up and you can never see what someone truly is until you really start to show them that you care and that you can really show them that you love them, right? And so when John used to come to people and he would say that I love you to everybody at the bank, he's like, oh, I love you, and we would get close and we'd have talks, he literally genuinely meant it. And I remember the first time that this one time we sat down and he had gotten trouble from the corporation for telling people that he loved them inside of the bank. And at that moment in time I was like, this isn't for him. I was like, he shouldn't be. I mean, he was a great banker. He was a fun boss. He let me do whatever I wanted, you know, all that stuff, right? And that's what I like, is I just like doing whatever I want. And so, but the point is that wasn't for him. And when people are all like, why are you doing this? Like, because this is what he's supposed to be doing. Like, and every time that someone was like, oh, he's going through, you know, he doesn't have any money, or how do he saying I don't have any money, I'm all like, just keep doing it. Because this is what you were supposed to be doing. For me, it was completely rationalized. And it's just weird seeing everybody, how people think about the world and what people should be doing and people's different paradigms, that this, in my mind, wasn't going to fail. Yeah. Like it could not fail if he just kept going at it. Because he would find a way to make money, he would find something would come, right? Because of manifesting stuff. And when you have 3 people manifesting something, that's even more powerful, right? You know, I would always sit in bed and meditate, and there's a mudra, this mudra right here. I can't remember the name because I don't speak Sanskrit, and I'm terrible at saying words that I don't know. And so this here's a mudra. I would sit for hours like this and visualize stuff. Just for hours, because this is a wealth mudra. And then there's also a mantra that has to do with the wealth god in Buddhism, and people think, oh, you have a wealth god in Buddhism. Yes, there is a wealth god in Buddhism, Shambhala. And so I would just sit and do mantras over and over and over, and it would just, I mean, I usually, specifically, me personally, just because I have a background in mathematics and finance and all this stuff, it's very difficult for me to believe things happen for, like, actual reasons. I think everything's chaotic and, like, everything's random. But then there's just weird shit that happens. Like, I can't explain that. Like, I don't know, and just stuff would just keep happening. Like, Curtis coming and finding us and giving the money, and then that fell apart, and then something else happened, and then XRP happened, and then it just keeps going, and you just keep doing it. But I just think it's interesting with the rationality piece of it, because you never know what someone else is thinking. Like, you know, Johnny said that you don't know what someone else's perception, and I knew that it couldn't fail. So,
So, and I'm a little bit nervous to bring up, because I know you're treading on sort of beliefs and but one of the most fantastic things, there were many who used to sort of sit in the bike at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we both basically decided that, in a way, Coach JV was Jesus. And you think, well, that's awful presumptuous of you, Coach. I mean, you think you're Jesus, and I mean, but it made perfect sense at the time, because we tried to, and I know maybe we made up stories to try and sort of prove the theory, but would be that we are all disciples, and of this man. Kevin is, he's St. Peter, and you're Jesus, but the thing is, I believe that there are issues inside me that, wow, I am kind of broke, and will cry if I let those feelings come to the surface because I'm broken. But it's to look at it differently, that here we are, we're actually quite cool bunch of people here. We are a pretty cool bunch, because we have, even though there's work to be done, we have all decided that we're going to go on that journey. And just like, just when the disciples looked at, I believe in my heart they looked at this guy walking around and said, oh God, there's something about him. There is. We don't know what it is. And he crashed through and he knocked down walls, but they followed him, and he, 2,500 years later, things that's, the beautiful stuff about, the totally beautiful stuff about Christianity, and I use it just as a form of, that's not a choice, but, so it's the same with you. It's this beautiful belief. If you want to sort of dumb it down and say, well, we just want to stick with a winner. Everybody likes winners, and you're a winner.
Well, I think there's something that, I'm not Jesus, but
Can I chime in on that real quick though?
yeah, okay, go ahead.
Because that's cool. That's cool that you think that. That's cool. It is. It really is. What we're trying to help you guys to understand is that you have the exact same capability.
And that's what Jesus did. Yeah, that's what Jesus did. So yes.
Can I say something really quick? So we are created in the image of whatever you believe in. Jesus, Buddha. We are created in their image. So therefore, they're inside of us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So when we learn and truly believe that, that's when we become, and when we start loving ourselves.
Yes.
Because we have this amazing power.
Yes.
When that happens, everything falls into place.
Yes.
This ends, but then this is coming. That ends because this is coming.
Yes. Mary's exactly right. That's the thing. That's the whole point of that's why I always tell people, don't believe a word I say. I've been called a cult leader because of the way I talk. My cult leader doesn't tell you to not believe a word I say. Like, don't follow what I do. What I'm trying to get you to do is be like you. As she taught that video tied it all together for me, because that was my whole mission. And I believe, this isn't about religion, just so you guys know, but Jesus, the representation, Jesus was like, you're made in my likeness and image, and our Father, like, you have this inside of you. And he's like, you know what, you guys hang out in the church, I'm actually going to help these people over here, because they're broken. The lady, he's standing there, and the lady's like, touches it, everybody's like, oh, he's like, oh, come here. Oh, I love you, you're just like me, let me heal you, because everybody else is freaking out like I'm some crazy dude. Like, they're like, don't touch him, don't touch him. And the lady touches his garment. And he looks back and he's like, oh, you're fair. You get it. You get it. And I think that's what we do is we fight this thing outside of us. It's like, no, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. We have to look up to this person, or we have to look up to this person. And like you said, it's all about getting back to your higher self. And that's, who are you? Yes, ties it together. Thank you, David. It's like, I sit there and I believe that every single person, whatever you believe in, everybody has the ability to get as high in their own consciousness as they can. And that's the whole thing for me. It's like, do I follow the life of Jesus? Absolutely, as close as humanly possible. As close as to transmuting sexual energy to that. That's what I chose to follow. I chose to go from the dark side. I chose to go from this side all the way to like way, I'm just addicted personality. I'm like way on this side of it. And I'm like trying to walk this path. And I think he's a really neat person. And I'm like, God, or whatever he represents for you. And I'm like, I want to follow that. Like, that's pretty cool. Like, that's a role model for me, right? And so what shows up is that people say, I like your energy. Wow. Why do you like this? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why?
Sharing that, that's really awesome.
Yeah. So why do people keep saying I like energy? Because like Mary, it's like bringing myself to my higher self. I like your energy, right? And then also, I've also met the devil. Ooh, man, the devil is a needy person, man. The devil is. Ooh, I've done some really cool shit as a devil. It was wild. And guess what people said? I don't like your energy. And guess what I'm going to give you? A lot of really messed up shit. My car windows were being broken at the gym. I'd go outside, my window would be broken on the side. Whose side windows get broken on their car? I'm like, that's man, some haters. I'm like, who breaks people's windows? 3 times my windows got broken. I'm like, nobody breaks our windows now. I'm like, it's because of my energy. It's like, it's my energy. It's our energy. And I think that's the biggest thing. That, thank you, David, for bringing that, because it's a great conversation. It's like, who I want to represent is like, for example, I don't look at Michael Jordan, I don't look at Joe, I know who watch sports, but like Joe Montana, or like, I don't look up to Conor McGregor, or any of these people, when people idolize these people. I was supposed to say not to idolize, don't idolize, right? Like, be you, and that's the whole thing what Heidi said. Please, it's a great conversation.
Hey, Coach, I'm just curious, when you were going through these dark times and trying to get your shit together, what was the main driver for you to do that? Was it your parents being proud of you, or was it your dog? If you had to think of what was the main driver to say, I gotta really get my life back together?
It definitely was my daughter. It definitely was Raven. But there was something that was driving me inside that knew that something wasn't right in my paradigm. Because I sought this thing outside of myself so freaking hard, and I kept seeking and kept going deeper. Like the Charlie Sheen, I totally understand his situation. Like where he just kept going deeper down the rabbit hole, and then he's like, I got tiger's blood. I'm like, I get what he's going through. He was so deep down the rabbit hole. It's like, because the dopamine is so strong. It's like, okay, I have 3 women, now let's have 5 women. Let's have cocaine and ecstasy, and let's have this. And they're seeking this. It's where was the devil cast to? The worldly things. When you're grabbing for worldly things, and God, omnipresence, Allah, Buddha says, it's inside of you. It's in your heart. It's here. It's all here, right? So for me, it was like, I knew there was something different. And I was just like, this doesn't seem right. Like wasn't able to kill myself. I was like, so I can't leave this plane, so I may as well try to figure it out while I'm here. And that was my biggest thing, is I've been on a mission to try to figure this out, and I don't think any of us are going to figure it out. But what I believe in my belief system is, you're supposed to be a really good person. You're supposed to wake up and do something with your life, and right, and don't be, don't live for other people's paradigm. Just be a good person. Kev always says, be good to the earth, be good to people. Raise your vibration as high as you can. Help as many people as you can. Eat some good food. Sometimes some bad food. I had a brownie last night. It was really good. Sometimes you got to do that stuff, but also try to understand each other. So I think that's a big thing. My daughter. I mean, straight up, my daughter was the driver. Yeah, Raven was the driver. It was totally the driver. And then John came, and John, ironically, that's part of the story. John was born on the day I attempted suicide. It's pretty crazy. December 18, 2015. So he was supposed to be born on Christmas Day. But he was born on December, so we named him John. He's JJB, and he's me in just a recreated form. It's pretty well, but yeah. So good stuff. All right, let's get into it. Okay. You want to jump?
Daily, dog.
No, yeah, we can